Big Three girls soccer coming to you next on Fred TV as the Durfee girls finally get to host a home game in league play. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud. Thanks for tuning in to Channel 9 for our Fred TV Sports coverage of high school sports. Yes, the Durfee Lady Hilltoppers have played their first 2 of 4 Big Three games on the road. They finally get to play one on their home turf, and they are very excited about that. They're 1-1 in the league coming into today against 0-2 New Bedford. Overall, Durfee's 4-6-2, New Bedford 1-10-0. So this is a big game for both sides, because for Durfee, if they come out on top, they guarantee nothing worse than a 500 season in the Big Three. But for New Bedford, a win would even things up between Durfee and New Bedford, basically leaving Brockton to decide their fate. So lots on tap tonight. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. We'll dive into it. For one thing, Durfee did very well. Last time we saw them, they shut out Diamond 2-0, and they worked on the passing to feet and taking advantage of the opportunities given. And Coach D'Souza told me that she just wants everybody to do their job, to steal a Patriots phrase right there from football. So they do their job. She feels that they will come out on top. Now, for New Bedford, they've had some positives as well, and one of those has been the defense. They've kept the team in it. Even though they only have 1 win, the defense has not been bad this season for Coach Noguera. So we'll keep an eye on both of those things as the game goes on. All the action coming to you next on Fred TV.
Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. For the visiting Lady Whalers, number 2, Tiana Francis. Number 3, Captain Aaliyah Padilla. Number 8, Claire Blanchard. Number 10, Alyssa Arujo. Number 11, Sam Panacho. Number 12, Captain Peyton Calveo. Number 18, Janice Mendoza. Number 20, Caitlin Gonzalez. Number 23, Monica Ayers. Number 6, Tasha Gaylor. And in goal tonight for the Lady Whalers, number 4, Haley Almeida. The Lady Whalers are coached by Andrea Noguera, assisted by Rebecca Mutnansky, and volunteer coaches Mariama Hisek and Kayla Mendez. And now for your Durfee Lady Hilltoppers. Number 7, Trinity Afonso. Number 10, Captain Jasmine Montega. Number 11, Captain Mallory Forcier. Number 12, Hannah Alexander. Number 13, Charlotte Misterato. Number 15, Kelsey Whitney. Number 17, Catherine Callahan. Number 19, Captain Madison Bullier. Number 20, Brittany Pavo. Number 22, Samantha Soares. And in goal tonight for the Lady Hilltoppers, number 99, Captain Shaylin Carrero. The Lady Hilltoppers are coached by Vanessa D'Souza, assisted by Owen McGonigal, and volunteers Crystal Bradham and Kayla Mendez. We wish both teams good luck tonight, a safe and fun game.
Okay, fans, made it back up top here to the press box as got to do the starting lineups again for the PA system here for the fans at the stadium. So just introduced the starting 11 for both sides, and now about ready to get this one going. Should be a lot of fun tonight. As I mentioned in the open, lots riding on this game for both sides. For New Bedford, it would be a huge boost of confidence, and it would definitely get them back in it in terms of the Big Three race. It is still very much up for grabs, and they pretty much hold their own destiny in their hands here, because a win would keep them in contention in terms of the league, but a loss would pretty much end any potential or any postseason possibilities for them. So it's big for them. Now for Durfee, they want to stay up with Brockton, because they've played 2 games in the Big Three. One was the win against New Bedford, and one was a loss to Brockton. So if they can keep pace with Brockton, then the last Big Three game of the season, which will be here when Brockton comes to Fall River, it'll actually mean something. So there's a lot riding on this for both sides. And as always, we expect a great competitive match here at Durfee High School. It is pretty nippy out here at the start of the game. Pretty much have lost the sun now that we're into mid-October. A chilly 53 degrees with a breeze. So probably, I would say it probably feels more like the upper 40s at this point. Definitely cooled off over the last week, as Durfee got their first chance and it was kicked out on the goal line. So the Lady Hilltoppers will go on the corner kick on the left side here. So they get an opportunity right out of the chute here. Sent towards the net. It goes wide, though, actually kind of towards the middle of the field. Given chase is Trinity Afonso, number 7. Lady Whalers trying to turn it back, sending it back into the offensive zone. Kelsey Whitney, and now Samantha Soares giving chase, beating her opponent to the ball. Mallory Forcier trying to recenter there. Chasing after it, Tiana Francis for the Whalers, and she will send it back towards midfield. That is number 6 here, Tasha Gaylor. She is a transfer. Coach Noguera was telling me, just finished her paperwork, so she is a transfer to New Bedford High School, and will finish the season here for the Lady Whalers. Whitney lost it. Alyssa Arujo sending it to the far side now. Lady Hilltoppers find it. Durfee in the white jerseys, New Bedford in the red, for those of you trying to figure out who's who. Durfee in the home whites, New Bedford the road reds. And going back to the last game we saw, the Lady Hilltoppers, they again, it was against Diamond, and it was a great game for them. They shut out Diamond 2-0 as coming out of the box here, Haley Almeida in goal tonight for the Lady Whalers. Made the stop with traffic coming her way. But Durfee, it was a good win for them, because they're right around that. They're just below 500 actually in a winning percentage. So overall, they need to rack up some wins to get into the playoffs just by overall record. Again, you got to win half your games. The ties do play into it. They're better than a loss. So, but Durfee again 4-6 and 2. Coming into play. So they got to get a couple more wins under the belt. 2 of those 4 wins were against Diamond. Opening day, they played Diamond, and then last week when we had the game, they also defeated Diamond. But only 2 other wins on the season. One was against New Bedford. So they got to get a couple more wins under their belt and try to build some momentum towards what will hopefully be a playoff season for the ladies. And again, a win tonight against a Big Three opponent would be huge for them. But Coach D'Souza and I had a good laugh there on the field when we were chatting pregame, because she did. She brought up the, she said, you got to believe, got to have heart. And I automatically thought about the Patriots, Julian Edelman, last year in the Super Bowl. And then she comes out with the do your job thing. I said, I guess we're really following the Patriots mantras a little bit, and she said absolutely. She said why not? So she truly feels if the girls do their job. It's the second time they've seen New Bedford. They beat them 1-0 earlier in the season. It was Game 3 of the season, an early Big 3 game. So she feels that if everybody does their job and plays as they should, things should turn out in Durfee's favor tonight. Shaylin Carrero with the stop, the captain in goal tonight. Good kick there. Nice stop, though, by Alyssa Arujo, sending it back the other direction, and now it goes to that far sideline and out of play. So the Whalers keep it in Durfee's zone, and they're about midway through it, midway up it. So they'll throw in from the far benches. That'll go out of play. And that went out on the sidelines off of the Whalers. So Durfee gets to throw in. 40-minute halves here. Just a reminder for those at home. We do have the scoreboard running, but the only thing we're not able to do is give you the rundown clock here. That's an interface that's built into the scoreboard. That is not something we necessarily have access to on a regular basis. So we do have the score running for you, but we'll keep you up to date on the time. We're about 5 minutes in, and the clock stops at 2 minutes. So really 38-minute halves, and then whatever the stoppage time is. Right in front of us there, Kelsey Whitney throwing it in. That's a great throw in there, about 20 yards on the throw. Anytime you can get, over 20 yards or at least 20 yards on a throw in, you've done your job. You've gotten some good power and distance behind it. It always tends to work out pretty well. And at the very least, at least it moves everybody down the field a little bit. Whitney throwing in now right towards the middle of the field. That's another good throw in. And now she'll come back to get it off the head of one of the Whalers, breaking towards the net and dropped. And finally gathered was Almeida. She grabbed it, but right there was Brittany Pavo ready to try to jar it loose to take advantage of a loose ball. There is Force here, sending it towards the middle of the field. That one skips by right to Gaylor. She'll turn it around. The Hilltoppers running to get there. That was Arujo, and it comes out of bounds in front of the Whalers bench. Good throw in there from Caitlin Gonzalez. And much like the last time we did soccer, there's field hockey going on behind us, so I'm sure you will hear quite a bit of whistles in the background. And so we'll, because we always hear the whistles with field hockey. It seems like there's whistles every 10 seconds. So we'll make sure that as long as you see play still going here, don't think that players are ignoring the officials. It's another game. We got a lot going on here today at Durfee. And in fact, that field hockey game going on behind us is a big one for Durfee because they've already beaten Brockton once this season, and they're hosting Brockton tonight. So, and they've beaten New Bedford as well. So the Lady Hilltoppers with a chance to win the Big Three in field hockey. Very impressive for them in league play this season. That's sent down into New Bedford zone. So my point for bringing that up is that we will have the field hockey game on Fred TV as well. So in addition to this game, field hockey also on the channel. We had some Big Three volleyball from last Friday. That's still airing as well. And later, or next week, we will have football game from past weekend. From this weekend, Diamond playing at New Bedford Vogue as it's just a neutral site because Diamond's field is still not usable. So New Bedford Vogue willing to allow Diamond to host. Durfee was already booked for this particular weekend coming. So Diamond having to go to New Bedford Vogue, and they will face off against Tri-County coming from Franklin. So kind of a neutral site. We'll have that football game for you next week. It's actually, believe it or not, boy, the season has flown. It's actually the final week of the regular season. So it's, well, at least I should say final home game of the regular season. Durfee is going to be on the road at Brockton, and we'll wait to see as there's a possible break here. Gaylor sending it towards the net, and it goes wide to the right and out of bounds. But at Durfee at Brockton, they lost last week in football. The Hilltoppers did by 1 point out in Barnstable, and that's a close game because the Red Raiders are always tough. I can recall a couple opening night games that we did going back maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I was first when I first started doing these games, and boy, there were some ugly games against Barnstable. We're talking like 55-6, just completely lopsided games. So obviously there's been some turnover over there as well when you have, Last time we saw them, I think it was about 4 years ago. So, you know, with 4 years in high school, you will see a lot of turnover. It's a different team. But to hang with Barnstable, they're one of the better teams in the area on the South Coast in terms of football. Actually, one of the better schools in general in terms of sports. They have a great program. And to hang with them, just lose by the 1, that was pretty good. You know, Durfee's defense in terms of football has really not been that bad this season. I'd say it's more been offensive woes and actually getting to the end zone. So, but the defense, when we've seen them, they haven't been that bad. That's heading towards the net, and the wind knocks it down. Carrero making the grab in the air. 10 minutes gone here at Mac Aldridge Field, scoreless game. And of course, since it's never too early to start promoting it, in just about 1 month, I'd say about 5 weeks from now, we will have live Thanksgiving Day coverage from right here at Durfee as the Hilltoppers get to host Thanksgiving. They won it last year in New Bedford, which it was just a wild game, probably one of the most entertaining Durfee-New Bedford games in recent history. Some of them have been kind of lopsided over the last couple seasons, but this game last year reminded me so much of my senior year in fall of 2006, when we won it up in New Bedford as well. In a nor'easter, basically, in a mud bath. It was pouring rain and windy and cold, and it was just awful. And it was a game very much like last year's, other than, you know, the weather. The weather was much better last year, but back and forth, high scoring, nail biter. It was just a lot of fun. And but this year, back here, Durfee gets to host back at home, and whenever it's a home game on Thanksgiving, we'll have live coverage for you, beginning with pregame stuff. Actually, before 10 o'clock, a little before 10 o'clock, we'll probably end up going live. But be sure to like and follow our Fred TV Sports Facebook page. The tournament is just around the corner, and of course, we will have posted times for Thanksgiving as well once we get a little closer to that. So, lots going on here. We got an election coming here in the city as well. GTV, our government channel, will have live election coverage in a couple weeks. So, I'll tell you, we've been quite busy here at the studios at Durfee. We've had a lot going on over the last couple weeks or so, and this week was just as busy, and we're a couple busy weeks coming up again, leading right to Thanksgiving and the holidays. So it's going to be here before you know it. Force here with it. Both sides have had maybe 1 or 2 opportunities, but other than that, and they weren't even really necessarily great opportunities, just kind of moderate opportunities, I guess you could say. A couple shots on net for both sides. And other than that, pretty quiet first 12 minutes or so of this one. Again, it was a low-scoring affair the first time these two teams squared off. Durfee came out on top 1-0. And we are scoreless here. Whalers will get to throw it in. And that was Claire Blanchard, number 8. Good feed up to Gaylor. Turns it in towards the net. Carrero is ready. I think they were looking for Sam Panacho, it looked like, or Panaco rather. And it just didn't get cut in enough to her. They didn't curl the kick in enough to her, and it kind of went right to Carrero. So pretty routine stop there in net for her. Good pass, overshot Force here just a hair, but Durfee will get to throw it in, so they'll keep possession here. Nice throw in there for Whitney again. Force here and Blanchard going at it. Now goes back to the circle in midfield, across midfield into Durfee's territory. They get it right back to Gaylor, but it is headed back the other direction. Down to the far side. And it goes out of play off the bench. And Durfee should have the ball. Actually had a kick there. Right towards the net. That's coming out of play. Out of play it goes. Short throw in there for the Whalers, but good placement as, ooh, it looked like maybe a kick to the face. That's going wide to the left. Saw Tiana Francis for a moment kind of grab the face, and now the official checking on her. I think she might have, maybe the ball, hopefully it wasn't a cleat. That's, that's kind of dangerous. That's never a good thing. Far side, out of play. Back and forth we go, kind of trading possession here. Playing footsies with the ball. And now the Hilltoppers try to clear it, but it goes out of play on that far side. Whalers will throw in. Lots of action on the far sideline here in the first half. That's another good throw in for the Hilltoppers. Now on the ground. Almost got through. Whitney stuck the foot out. Nicely done there to keep it pretty much at midfield. Forcier trying to overtake her counterpart, number 11 there, Sam Panaco. Gonna pass it back to Whitney. Whitney kicks it, deflects off of Gaylor, and now Whitney gets to throw in. Samantha Soares breaking through the D, but right there to clear it out was Peyton Calveo, one of the two captains for the Lady Whalers. That is a nice pass. Headed down to the ground. Still in play in the box. Hilltoppers take a shot on net. Blocked again by Calveo. And back towards midfield. Nicely done by the Whalers defense. Again, something that Coach Noguera said was a strong suit for the team early this season. Or throughout the season, I should say. It's really not early anymore. We're halfway through it. Now the Whalers, just like that, get to throw in here from midfield. Gonzalez will, little short throw looking for Francis. And I'm sorry, that was number 3, actually. Padilla, the other captain for the Whalers. But quickly turn around. The Hilltoppers moving it back down the field. And now Calveo with a nice boot all the way down, rolling at the down to the 20. And the Lady Hilltoppers just kick it out of bounds to prevent Gaylor from possibly stealing it. Nicely done from New Bedford, getting it very quickly down into Durfee's zone with one good kick there from Calveo. We'll see Francis throw in to Rougeau. That one coming to the right side of the goal, and it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Durfee. I believe that was Panaco did everything she could there, number 11, to keep it in for the Whalers, but no can do. A whistle. We'll have a free kick for the Whalers from about the 40, just after the 45, 44-yard line or so. They'll look for Calveo to send it down the field yet again. Gonna get a good running start. Good kick, but it's right at the Hilltoppers. That was Catherine Callahan. Quickly cleared it to Samantha Soares. And honestly, good thing it didn't get through, because Pavo would have been called for being offside. She was about 3 yards behind the defense. Now Soares gonna foot race it to the ball, and a nice boot there from Almeida, clearing it out. Far side it'll go now. Another good feed down into New Bedford's zone, and once again, we will see Almeida grab it. That'll bounce shy of the 50. Hilltoppers quickly turn around and take it away. Getting a little bit more aggressive with the ball movement are the Hilltoppers. They've been able to get into the box there a couple times here over the last 5 minutes. We're halfway through the first half already. Been relatively quick. Again, the pace has picked up a little bit over the last 5 or 7 minutes, but halfway through. Evan Massoud with you on Fred TV. Big 3 girls soccer, Durfee and New Bedford, scoreless after the first 20 minutes or so. As the action heats up, the temperature continues to fall. My gosh, it really is actually quite cool out here. You always kind of forget until you have to be out in the elements. You kind of forget how cold it really does get in a wide open field on a roof. Because you feel every bit of the breeze. I mean, we're completely wide open here. Gonna have to break out the gloves next time. I didn't think I'd need them, but gonna have to break out the gloves, I think. Again, we got football tomorrow, so that's at night too. So I'll have to have the gloves ready for that, because it's not going to be any warmer tomorrow than it was today, or than it is right now. That's for sure. I mean, other than the fact that it finally feels like fall and there's a breeze, it actually is a really nice night. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. It's clear as can be. Awaiting a throw-in for the Hilltoppers on the far side. Soares does a great job at getting to the ball, and we saw that in the Diamond game. That one skips through, and Almeida will play it fairly routinely. Now it's throwing to her teammate there. That's Padilla. Padilla lost it for a moment, gets it to Arujo, and now to the sidelines here. That's Gonzalez. Turning it around for Durfee. That was Bullier. But Soares plays as forward, and she really does do a good job, though, as I was about to say, getting to the ball. We saw it in the Diamond game. Little floater towards the net, bounces right into the hands of Almeida. When Soares not afraid to, she really has a good job stretching for the ball, not afraid to just get right in there with the legs and try to take it away, which is a good, aggressive, hard-nosed soccer right there. Bouncing back towards midfield and out of play. Taken away for a moment, but the Whalers able to keep possession here. That's going to go out of play. Durfee will throw it in. Panaco trying to turn it up the sidelines, and she could not get the job done, unfortunately. So Durfee got the ball back. Whitney will throw in again right in front of the bench. Cutting in was Callahan, sends it back to Afonso. Now to Whitney, nobody home, and now the Whalers will throw in Durfee's zone. That'll be Gonzalez doing the honors. Intended for Panaco, goes out of bounds off of Bullier, one of the 4 Durfee captains. So the Whalers will throw in again. This time Padilla will do it. High kick going, and out of play. You saw Carrero there just stop and let it go. Didn't want a chance that it would go, she wouldn't play it cleanly, and then if it went out off of her, basically would lose possession. You'd have a corner kick. So smart play there, just let it bounce, and now the Hilltoppers will get the goal kick onto that far side, and that's gonna roll. And it does stay in, able to come back into the Durfee side. Whalers will try to turn it around. Down the sidelines into New Bedford's side off of Trinity Afonso's foot. And New Bedford will throw in. Quick pause there for substitutions. Little over 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Now the long kick and chasing it down, now having to kick it out. Hilltoppers kick it out on the sidelines, trying to play cautiously. So New Bedford will throw in pretty much parallel with the box. Good cut in there for the Hilltoppers. Gonna pass it down the field, looking for Soares. It goes past her and off of her, so New Bedford will throw in again. Soccer's an interesting game, kind of get waves of momentum throughout. Durfee had a couple good passes deep into New Bedford's zone, making Almeida have to field it. Now we've seen New Bedford kind of able to penetrate the defense of Durfee. Just both sides, though, with nothing to show for it. And again, only one corner kick even in the game, so it shows you that most of the shots are just going right on net. They're not really going, many of them, wide or anything. Where here's a possibility. Pavo chasing it down, and it's going to be a foul. It's going to be a free kick for the Whalers. But that corner kick came literally like 30 seconds into the game for Durfee. Well, since then, we haven't seen anything, haven't had one. Calveo will get ready to launch it from the 20. Fooled everyone, I think. All the Lady Hilltoppers running back towards it. I like the design there, kind of fake them out and then take a second look as you draw everybody near. Now it's a foot race. It'll go out of play, and the Whalers will keep it. That was an interesting setup there, but I do like it. You're always going to have an edge, and it's nice to see the bit of trickery sometimes from the teams. Don't want to always show everything in your hand, but good to pull out the trick card once in a while. Carrero scoops it from the 10. High arcing kick, gonna fall right at the circle there at midfield. Denise Andrade, number 14, just subbed in for Francis about 3 or 4 minutes ago. She throws in. That skips through the defense, but Carrero there. It's a little bouncer, nothing too serious. That's a real strong kick. That one's actually making it past midfield. A little more distance on it, more of a line drive kick. Carrero's had a really nice high school career. Soccer each fall and basketball in wintertime. A senior captain this year is Carrero. Cutting it off was Andrade. Two Hilltoppers were there trying to get that pass, and Andrade was there to cut it off. Forcier has it bounce off of her foot, and Mantega couldn't get there either. Stopped by Afonso, back down. Well, there's a push, and there's a whistle. A little late. No, Coach Noguera yelling out to the field. I don't think she was happy with the push. So we'll have another free kick. This one from the 50, and the way Calveo sends them down the field. This could very easily get into the box if she does decide to go full board here. She does. Good line drive kick. Not as high, but it got the distance on it. And lofted back towards the 40. Bounces over the head of Soares. Pavo is there. It's a 2-on-4. Now 3-on-4, breaking from the far side. That is sent towards the box and the net. It'll bounce once, and Almeida will play it on the hop. So another shot on net, but the problem for Durfee, the defense really, I am impressed by the Whalers' defense. They can't seem to kind of break through anywhere past the 20-yard line. We've seen some long shots on net. Like that last one, that'll bounce. They'll go in the air about 25 yards and then bounce 10 yards short of the goal. Well, that's a pretty routine play for a goalie when you have three defenders also around you to protect. It's the kicks from about the 10-yard line that tend to be trouble, and we're not seeing the Hilltoppers able to penetrate anywhere really past the 20 or 15-yard line into the box. So credit the Whalers defense. They've done a really good job at keeping Durfee honest here in this first half. We have about 6 minutes until stoppage time, and we really haven't had any stoppage time, which is also a nice thing when we get to keep the game moving. And it also means there haven't been any injuries, which we always like to see. We never like to see injuries, so it's always good to see a first half that hasn't had to stop for an injury. Of course, it's part of sports, but you hate to see it. So about 6 minutes, and then we'll be in stoppage time, and should only be a few seconds to run down, and we'll be at halftime. We have I want you to stay for halftime because we actually kind of have a bit of a halftime report, which we don't always have, but this past week we had some more girls soccer. It was actually Diamond, and they've been playing the games over at Britland Park, and so they had some Mayflower League action against the Bristol Plymouth Craftsmen from up in Taunton. So got some highlights of that, which we'll take a look at halftime. And also, as we do throughout the year, throughout the school year, we have weekly, well, I should say monthly. Sometimes we'll have 2 a month, but for the most part, monthly education segments that we post to Fred TV, to our Facebook page. We also link them over to the Fall River Public Schools website, so we call them an education link, and kind of just give you an inside look at what was going on in public schools throughout the month. But this first one that we have for this year is kind of an inside look at the Durfee College Fair. It's been going on for many years, but this is the second year that they've done it during the school day, which really gives the students a great opportunity to really take part, and it actually really allows all grades to kind of come down and see what's going on. So it's a great thing, and one of our Fred TV seniors, David Montero, he's actually on the football team. So he's done a couple of the games with us. He did some games with us last year from behind the scenes, and he's planning on doing more this year as well. Actually already has, but we had him, he was the reporter for that segment. So we're going to run that segment too, kind of give you an inside look at what we had going on here at Durfee in the field house, which is, you know, usually a venue fit for sports, but that day kind of reconfigured into an expo center, if you will, for the college fair. So we'll have Diamond and BP girls soccer highlights at halftime, and then we will run that pack as well before we come back for the second half. So about 3 or 4 minutes left as Carrero makes a nice play there with pressure in her, right in her face. Didn't get a good kickoff there, and it's going to bounce, sent right back towards her. Shot on net, Carrero makes the play. Has a good look though. That's really one of the first ones we've seen of the night, like an actual shot on net that close by for either side. And it was a good shot too. I believe that was Janice Mendoza. Hilltoppers will throw in. Now we'll see ourselves a goal kick here from Almeida. So she'll set it up. Well, actually, it'll be her teammate doing the honors. Another good kick from Calveo. Nice stop, though, by the Lady Hilltoppers. Lining up, rearing to go. That was Keatlin Gonzalez. Good strong kick there. Hilltoppers defense being tested here over these last 5 minutes. And play continues. Tell you, I heard a whistle from behind us. We were talking earlier in the game about the field hockey whistles as 2 games going on at once here. But most of the players here for soccer kind of stopped there right at the time that whistle blew, and I wonder if they thought it was from their own field. That skips through, and it'll be turned around by Gonzalez. Gets it to Andrade. Andrade able to send it through. Gaylor on the run here, and New Bedford will earn the throw in. And it will be Andrade. We're going to wait for a sub here as Panaco comes back into the game. She had been on the bench. So she comes in, and Gaylor takes a rest. And while that was just happening, basically, as Gaylor got back to the bench, Durfee got possession. They got to throw in. It's kicked back down into the corner. Foot race to the ball. Cut off by Panaco, trying to turn it around. And who's going to get it? Goes out on the sidelines. Nicely done by the Hilltoppers. In about 5 seconds, and we will be in stoppage time. The final few seconds of the half coming here. So big spot. Kept in play. That's sent towards the net. Carrero eyes it the whole way. Had it lined up. Makes the play again. Fairly routine. Both sides have not, both goalies have not really been tested that much. They've just had to kind of make routine stops. Nothing dire, nothing too dramatic. And what has been a fairly average first half, I would say. I mean, nothing that really stands out. No huge plays, no breaks, nothing like that. Just pretty solid play from both sides. Really, the story of defenses so far. That'll bounce at midfield in the circle. Who wants it? That's Blanchard rather. Roller on the ground. Brought back by Arujo. Back onto Durfee's side again. Hilltoppers will try to send it down the field here in a last chance effort in this first half. And with that, the first half will come to a close. So as I said, you know, kind of an average first half, if you will. Scoreless, so we're still in a stalemate, and really not too many opportunities for either side. We saw some shots on net, which is good, because the old axiom is that if you don't take a shot, it's never going to go in anyway. So at least they're taking shots, but what I'd like to see from really both sides is, you know, getting into the other team's zone and getting deep in that zone so that when they take a shot, it's a little harder to defend. Again, credit the defenses. They've been really strong so far in the game. New Bedford's looked good. Durfee's looked good on defense. So anything can happen in the second half, and we'll keep it here. We're going to show you some highlights now from Diamond from the Mayflower League game. It's the first of two meetings for them in Mayflower League play. That's the BP Craftsman, and basically it marked the halfway point in the season. So we'll show you some early highlights here. Alicia Marshall breaking for BP on the outside, sets and fires. Perfect placement into the corner of the net. It's 1-0 Lady Craftsman, less than 10 minutes into the game. Now, about 5 minutes later, they strike again. This time it's Charisse Banez. Takes it from the defenders with a nifty turn and beats keeper Jessica Costa. That makes it 2-0 BP in the first 15 minutes. And despite 3 second-half goals for Diamond, BP's 5-goal first half, just too big a deficit to overcome. The Lady Bengals dropped to 3-5-1 with the 6-3 loss at Britland Park. And, of course, Britland Park being used for soccer because, again, Diamond's field not usable yet. Again, they're hopeful that before the end of the season, before the end of the fall, they could get a couple games in. But right now, still not usable as the new sod takes root. So, second half coming up next, but before we get there, we'll have you take a look at our education link for the month of October. Stick around.
Here's what's happening in the Fall River Public Schools.
In what is typically a location used for sports and phys ed, the Luke Urban Fieldhouse at Durfee was transformed into a convention center for the annual college fair. About 65 schools and organizations participated in this year's expo, allowing students the chance to start planning their futures.
It gives an opportunity for students 9 through 12, an opportunity to connect with a bunch of different colleges, some they've heard of, some maybe they don't know too much about, and get some information, ask questions.
So students head out with a list of 15 checkpoints to help determine which college might be an ideal fit for them. Some of these questions include housing options and clubs and sports.
Here in New England, students who choose to stay local have some of the best colleges in the country to pick from. One school that has been around for over a century is Suffolk University in downtown Boston. Just a block away from the State House and the Common, Suffolk is one of the nation's most respected law schools. Fortunately for undergrads, law isn't the only thing Suffolk has to offer.
We're also a top business school, so very well known for business, marketing, management, entrepreneurship, very strong. We have what's called the dual AACSB accreditation. Only the top 2% of business schools have that.
23% of Suffolk students are international, and they even have a satellite campus in Madrid for studying abroad. Now, as expected, some Durfee scholars were looking forward to higher education and some were overwhelmed. One student I spoke to was both.
I have to say, it is a lot. College, just thinking about it, it does make me nervous. High school's been the past 4 years, but I am also excited to take the next step.
Cameron told me that his teachers have been extremely helpful. One thing he's heard over and over from them is prep for college. Drew explains,
Just by coming to school each and every day, challenging themselves in different classes, exploring different areas through the different electives that we offer, or joining different clubs and opportunities, and exposing themselves to a wide variety of opportunities so that when they find something they like, they can specialize in it in college.
The Durfee faculty are here to assist you. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Remember, the worst question is the one not asked. Reporting for Fred TV, I'm David Montero.
All right, second half about to begin here. As you got to kind of get an inside look there at the Durfee College Fair. Again, nice job by one of our Fred TV seniors there, David Montero, handling the reporting duties for that pack. So we'll have more of those, and throughout the year, you'll see a lot of those during some of the half times. It's something that we're going to try to do. It gets you to kind of see what goes on in the school system. An opportunity right out of the chute again, almost like the start of the first half, but this time cleared. Doesn't result in a corner kick. We are scoreless here, and the clock has not started for some reason. We'll check downstairs. I love, live sports. There's something about that live factor that's a lot of fun. Our scoreboard operator did indeed forget to start the clock here for the second half, so we're playing a little catch up. But the reactions are always great when there's a little flub up. It's wicked funny. It really is. We have a lot of fun doing these games. But so that first minute or so was pretty much, either way, the scoreboard clock is really for the fans and stuff, because the officials are keeping track of the time with this stopwatch. So it doesn't necessarily matter. It just, we just got to know up here that we're basically a minute ahead of what it's showing there. But in any case, we have switched sides at the half, so Durfee will be trying to move the ball from left to right now, and on the other side, Whalers will be actually trying to score from right to left, which is, again, opposite of the first half. We would love to see a goal here, as we are in a stalemate, really. A scoreless tie, very defensive game, and again, the first game was like that out in New Bedford. That goes out on the sidelines. The first game between these two teams in game number 3 of the year for Durfee was at New Bedford, and it was a 1-0 win for Durfee. So it was a low-scoring game, and this one certainly appears like it's going to be that way. That'll bounce out of play, and New Bedford will throw in again. This is number 23, Monica Ayers. Nice job there, clearing it out, stopping it and clearing it out. Janice Mendoza. Brittany Pavo was right there wanted to get by, and she couldn't get there in time. Mendoza was able to quickly turn it around and force a throw in. Afonso. Oh, you left it behind you. Mr. Otto missed it there. Down the sidelines and out of play. Mr. Otto, a starting freshman for the Lady Hilltoppers. One of 3 freshmen on the roster. Catherine Noguera and Bailey Smith also on the varsity roster as freshmen, but Mr. Otto, a starting freshman, which is just great to see. This is kind of something that we're seeing a little bit of a trend here this fall for Durfee, is that a lot of starting freshmen on varsity teams. That's kind of been a big story with varsity girls volleyball. They have 4 freshmen that start, including the setter. So, and that's Resendiz. So, this is kind of a youth movement here for Durfee, which is great because, the younger the players are at a varsity level, the more of a leadership role you would expect them to take, because you get to play 4 years on varsity. That's not something you hear of every day, and that's just absolutely great to see. And coaches love that too. I can recall back at over at Diamond, I should say, Kathy Noversa's softball team. There was pitcher Haley Levesque, and she started on varsity. She was the starting pitcher for the Lady Bengals for all 4 years. As a freshman, she was the starting varsity pitcher, and she was fantastic in her 4 years. And that's something that Kathy told me a number of times. She said, coaches love this. I mean, it just makes the job so much easier. And it's true. And you have someone like that who you know you can go to and it's going to be around for that long, for the 4 years. It's a great thing for a coach and for a team. So same can be said here with the freshmen here on girls varsity soccer. Same with the girls varsity volleyball. Same thing. So it's really nice to see a good mix of players. It's always tough when you have the teams that have, half the squad are seniors, because you're going to be kind of in for a rebuild. That skips by, soars, shows the speed, but it's going to go out of play before she can get there. And it will be a goal kick. I can remember about 2 seasons ago for boys soccer, that was the squad with Ibrahim Naata and Connor Riley. There was that was a great team, boys, and I mean a very tight-knit group. But there were like 10 of them. Basically, were seniors, 10 on the roster, and I think maybe I want to say at least a half dozen of them, at least half of them were starters. So, for Coach Mello, losing such a core group of guys to graduation, I mean, there were a lot of guys that graduated from that team. It was a pretty big turnover. So, those teams can be very special, but then when you lose them, there's a lot of rebuilding to do. And the boys very much in it here at Durfee as well. We had a player down, so we're going to halt play for a moment. Durfee ready to throw in now. I believe that was Alyssa Arujo who went down. Seems to be okay now. That went out off the goal line, off into Bedford, so the Hilltoppers will get a corner kick here, just the second one tonight. We'll see if this will pan out. Jasmine Montega will kick it away towards the net. It bounces, it's still in play off the crossbar and in! Hilltoppers take a 1-0 lead. Almeida came out to field it. It took a wicked hop, and the 3 Lady Hilltoppers waited for it to bounce down off the crossbar and put it in. To be honest with you, could not see who it was. There was a sea of Hilltoppers. A slew of them right there waiting for it. We'll say the Hilltoppers put it in thanks to Mantega's assist from the corner kick. 1-0 Durfee here at Mac Aldrich Field. Hilltoppers break the ice about 10 minutes in. Actually, 10 minutes into the second half, I should say. We played about 50 minutes here before we finally got a score. You could see it happen. It was almost like slow motion. When that happens, it's pretty much anybody up for grab. It took a weird bounce. And then the crossbar is in play if it comes back. So it stayed in play. It never went behind and hit the net. So it was up for grabs, basically a free ball, and nobody was there other than about 3 Lady Hilltoppers ready to bury it in the back of the net. Nice turn there from Sam Panaco. Sends it back to our side. Down the sidelines it goes and out of play. Durfee will throw in. Can confirm here that field hockey has wrapped up behind us. The Lady Hilltoppers have come away with a win. Don't have an official goal total, but by halftime it was, I believe, 5 or 6 to nothing. So convincing win for the Lady Hilltoppers against Brockton in field hockey. Again, that game airing on Fred TV as well. First corner kick of the night for New Bedford comes just a couple minutes after Durfee got a corner kick that resulted in a goal. Here comes the kick. That's a good one too. And will it stay in play? It will not, and it should be a goal kick as it went out off of New Bedford. Indeed it is. And it'll be Afonso doing the honors from about the 5-yard line, so she'll kind of kick it from pretty far back. Everybody's kind of got their sweet spot where they prefer to kick from. That one skips through. Pavo turns it around. Out muscling her opponent there, Monica Ayers. That got through as well. Passing Mendoza, and now a whistle. Gonna turn it around as a foul was called. Free kick, good one again from Calveo. New Bedford playing with a little sense of urgency, it seems here. They know this game really could define their season here. 1-10 overall, but in the Big Three. Rather, in the Big Three, they are 0-2. So if they hand Durfee a loss, this would be huge in terms of the playoff picture. So a very big game for New Bedford, as it is for Durfee. Guerrero comes out to make the play. But definitely it seems like the Lady Whalers have maybe just put it in a slightly higher gear since falling behind here, because that goal really was one of those kind of weird goals. It wasn't necessarily just a clean old shot into the net. It's one of those that really could have gone either way. Whenever the crossbar comes into play, things can sometimes get a little dicey, and that'll go out of play. Should be New Bedford ball. They're giving it to Durfee. I thought it went out off of Durfee, but Hilltoppers get the throw in. Right to Soares and Pavo. Pavo sends it towards the center of the field, and Andrade cuts it off. Blanchard moving it ahead. Nice job passing by the Lady Whalers. Andrade gets open. Chasing after it, grabbing it there was Whitney. But a really good job moving the ball there in that sequence, basically half the length of the field. Good control. Passing to feet, which is something you always want to see. All coaches want to see that. So really nice job moving the ball. But now Durfee back on the offensive attack for the moment. Going to try to turn it around, beat the defense. Having some trouble doing so is Callahan. Now she takes a shot towards the net, open, trying to detonate. Coming out is Almeida. I believe that was Soares. Oh no, that was Pavo. Pavo with the header into the ground. She tried to deaden the ball in front of her and then take a shot, but it got away from her, and Almeida made the play. It was a good stop from Almeida. So just after I say that, Lady Whalers putting some pressure on. Now Lady Hilltoppers kind of returning the favor a little bit, getting some play in the offensive zone. Pavo gets the pass. Nice move to kind of fake around the defender. Coming in to block it is Arujo. Arujo will send it down the field. Alfonso playing D for the Hilltoppers. Sends it back to Arujo. Arujo back down the field to Whitney. Now Andrade at midfield. Arujo there. It's taken away by Whitney. She'll pass it up the field. Beautiful pass, 2-on-1. Soares wide to the right. Oh, she had an open corner there. Almeida came out, and you know, when a goalie comes out to play aggressive there, it really shrinks the area, shrinks the goal, and that's why you see even in hockey too, same thing. A lot of times the goalies will come out a little bit, gives you a smaller window, and that time it ended up working out. But that was a 2-on-1 break there for the Hilltoppers. Couldn't cash in. It'll stay 1-0. Possible opportunity here again, but it is cleared out. Well, after what was really, like I said, kind of just an average first half, nothing great, nothing bad. Pretty entertaining start to the second half here. Both sides playing a little more energy. Of course, the Hilltoppers with the lead here, I think, is forced New Bedford to play a little more aggressive, and then in turn, Durfee has stepped it up. So we're definitely seeing a little more out of both sides here in the second half. More chances, more opportunities. That'll go back out of play again. Hilltoppers will have to wait for the Whalers to throw it in. Down the sidelines. Out of play again. Whalers will throw in. Back towards the middle. Whalers still trying to control. Blocked. Sent out of play. There's a wide open shot there from Ayers, but blocking her was Whitney. Actually, my bad. I believe that was actually Hannah Alexander. But either way, she did a nice job. She cleared it out, got it out of bounds, forced the throw in. Again, kind of stopping the rally. Now another opportunity for the Hilltoppers. They'll slow it up. Shot on net. Almeida. Oh, it goes over the crossbar. Now, I did hear a whistle, I think, before the kick even did go off. Pavo knows she had a wide open shot, and so often we see that happen. And you end up almost doing too much knowing that you have the wide open shot. We saw that in the one of the boys' games earlier this season. I think it was the New Bedford game. The New Bedford Whalers, the boys, they had a wide open shot against the Hilltoppers, and they couldn't capitalize. It was the same type of thing. Should be 2-0 Durfee. Lady Whalers catch a big break right there. Pavo couldn't finish it after the real good rebound there. The second chance effort. And a foul called. We'll have a free kick for the Hilltoppers. From the circle. Not really waiting for everybody to get set. That is Mallory Forcier trying to get through. Bounces it off the defender, still with control, but does she keep it in? Yes, she keeps it in. Oh, they called it. The whistle came, so it did go out of bounds. I say it definitely was pretty far down towards the end there. It's going to be very close. The official right there to make the call. So that one comes back, and the Lady Whalers get the goal kick. Good effort there from Forcier, though. Had to get a couple second chance efforts there off the defense, sending it in. It bounced once, chased after it, bounced again, chased after it again. So good effort there. Unfortunately, nothing to show for it, but got to keep the pressure on, and she did. Now all the way down the other end. Ball still in play, no whistles. In front, and Blanchard took a shot to try to even it up. It goes wide to the right and over, so that one had a little too much height on it. Afonso with the goal kick. Didn't get much height on it, so it kind of got cut off. Got cut off shy of midfield there, so shy of the circle. Whalers putting on some pressure here offensively, testing the Durfee D. That's kicked out of bounds. Halfway through the second half, 1-0. Hilltoppers as Coach Noguera calls a timeout. Waited till literally halfway through the second half for the timeout. We'll just have a quick pause here. Both sides will take a minute to talk. Again, 1-0 Durfee. 20 minutes down, or really, again, 19 minutes down, basically. 19 to go before stoppage time. Very quick timeout for both sides there. And a throw in for the Whalers there on the far side. That'll get things going again. And now a third time. A throw in and it goes right back out of bounds. Can't get a good set on it. That one will go out again, so let's do it a fourth time. Arm's got to be tired now. Fourth throw in a row here. Can't seem to clear it from that far sideline. Hilltoppers send it, ooh, off the back of one of the Whalers. I think that was Ayers. Monica Ayers. Oh, no, maybe not. It might be number 25 then, Miranda. Been very busy with the throw-ins. Now back to the middle of the field. Actually, I think that was Caitlin Gonzalez actually throwing it on the far side there, number 20. So she definitely got her her work in today with the throws because there are 5 of them there. Now back to midfield, spread it out a little bit. Hilltoppers go back on the offensive. Pavo just got completely cut off by Blanchard. Well defended. And it'll go out of play. Whalers ball. That one going down the sidelines. Out of play, and New Bedford will throw in again. That's going to bounce and kind of hook left a little bit. Had some interesting spin on it. Pavo trying to get there. She goes down to the turf. No whistles. That'll be a goal kick. Janice Mendoza defending her there. So goal kick. Went out off of Durfee. Another great kick there from Calveo. He's got a really strong leg there. Gaylor back in, number 6, and she's in a foot race with Afonso to the ball. It goes out of play, should be Hilltopper's ball. And it is, they'll throw in. Tell you, it's still cold, but it's nice that the wind is kind of quieted down a little bit. It was pretty breezy at the start of the game. Now it's just cold in general, but it's a lot better when there's no wind. That makes it's like night and day. What a difference it is without the wind. So still pretty chilly. I wouldn't be surprised if we're into the 40s yet. Definitely a serious taste of fall here. High pop up there. We started at 53 degrees. It says 50 now, but again, with a slight breeze, wouldn't be surprised if the field-like temperatures maybe 48, something like that. And that's kind of cold considering it was like 80 degrees, 4 days ago, and humid. So to drop down basically 30 degrees here, I mean, that's really a big drop off. About 15 minutes left in regulation here. Hilltoppers clinging to the 1-0 lead. Evan Massoud with you on Fred TV. Big 3 girls soccer. Hilltoppers are 1-1 in the Big 3. They've beaten New Bedford once, and they lost to Brockton. Lady Whalers 0-2 in the Big 3. They also lost to Brockton. It was a 5-3 loss to Brockton. That was off of Blanchard. She had her hands up, but it didn't hit the hands. I think it hit her thighs there, so just out of bounds. No free kick, just a throw in for Alexander. Hannah Alexander. Miss Dorado towards the net. It's blocked and defended well by Calveo. Hilltopper still in the offensive attack. That was Bullier. Now Callahan trying to get it through. All bunched up and now getting it cleared out. An opportunity for Padilla trying to get through. Now the Lady Hilltoppers have kind of swarmed in on her, and they will take it back over. But everybody bunched up here on both sides of the field. Not much separation. Padilla and Hannah Alexander going at it. Now back down the other side. And offsides on Pavo. Breaking a little too early. Got past the defenders. It's a free kick from inside the circle. For those of you watching at home, maybe wondering, well, what really constitutes an offside? So basically, you can't beat the defenders to the ball. That's the bottom line. So if the ball gets past the defenders, but you're past the ball, it's an offsides. And that's exactly what happened. So the ball was coming in. Pavo was already past the defenders, and the ball got past the defenders. So you basically what it is, the defenders have to have an opportunity to defend the ball and play the ball. So like right there, that was onside because the ball got past the Hilltopper, and then it got to the defenders. So she was behind the defenders, but the ball was between them. So that was okay. Pavo was not offsides there. And it's very tough, especially when you're just trying to time it. Sometimes you're being a full sprint, the ball's coming, and you're trying to get there, and then all of a sudden the defender will just stop, and it's like there's nothing you can do. You just get called on it no matter what. So it's tough. It's definitely tough. I mean, it's really self-awareness. You got to know where you are in the field and know what's going on around you at all times. Make sure you don't get called, or don't get caught offsides, I should say. Short bouncer thrown in there from Monica Ayers. That's going to be sent to the corner. Goes out on the sidelines, and it's Durfee ball. Boy, that just did not turn out very well for Durfee. Now the coaches want to talk, but that is definitely off of New Bedford. Assistant coaches for New Bedford not liking it, but I got to be honest with you, it definitely was off of New Bedford, and I could not believe that that the Whalers actually touched it, to be perfectly honest with you. It was going to go out on the goal line, and it would have been a corner kick for the Whalers. Instead, kind of hooked it around and went behind and off out of the sides there. So tough break for the Lady Whalers, rather. Should have just let that one go. But sometimes, you know, when you're down a point, big game, sometimes you try to do a little too much. And again, it's all about that self-awareness, knowing exactly where you are in all times and what's going on around you. And that time, things didn't work out for New Bedford. 10 minutes to play. Still 1-0. Well, they give it up. Arujo loses it, however. Still up for grabs. Blanchard down the sidelines looking for, that is Ayers. Good feed down to Padilla, out of play, and a push. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't even Padilla. That was that was Gaylor. Ayers will throw in. Another throw in here. That one went out on the sideline there, so went out of bounds on the sideline. Another short throw in. Kicked out on the sideline. I think really some of those short throw-ins, I think it's almost the Whalers trying to bury it along the goal line in hopes that maybe Durfee playing defense will end up, it'll trickle out on the goal line. It results in a corner kick. No foul there. Another throw in from Ayers. So just like before for Gonzalez, Ayers has been busy on this side throwing in. Blanchard with the ball. Nice stop for a minute by Montega. Got the foot in there. Gonna take a shot. It's going wide to the right. Afonso with the kick, comes right back in her direction. Goes out of play, it'll be a goal kick. So she'll do that again. Take two, if you will. Going up the sidelines, Pavo trying to cut in. Now Callahan goes out of play. Another strong throw-in. Hilltops have had a nice, strong throw-ins from a number of the players tonight. Alexander and Whitney have done a nice job on the sidelines with the throw-ins. Gaylor with the ball. Good feed. Carrero's going to come out and scoop it. That was a nice feed ahead to Panaco, but she could not get there in time. It was she led her just a little bit too far. But I like the design there. That was well executed. Just got to bring it back just a hair. Towards the sidelines. Who will get there? Will anybody get there? No, out of play. Durfee will throw in. High bouncing throw in. Pavo off the head. Blanchard off the head. Pavo again. Now Blanchard off off the upper body, and now finally on the ground. Pavo went down, Arujo took it, sends it towards the middle of the field. Panaco on the run. Hilltoppers turn it around, throw it, or kick it rather, out of bounds. The Whalers will throw in. 5 minutes left in regulation. Again, very little stoppage time here in the second half, so I would not expect us to probably play more than a minute, if that, after regulation time ends. So, for all intents and purposes, the Lady Whalers pretty much down to about 5 minutes here. Got to get one in the back of the net to avoid what would be a devastating loss and pretty much a postseason elimination game, because based on the record, they've already lost half the games, and this would be their 11th loss, which would then put them below 500 for the season. And in the Big Three, they'd be mathematically out of it as well. So the Hilltoppers would basically eliminate New Bedford with this win if they hold on. So it is a huge, huge win. If the Hilltoppers can hold on to it, this would be a big one for them. Still in play, Pavo going to turn around. Can't take the shot. Ayers was right there to stop her. Another open shot towards the net corner, and it's good! Captain Madison Bullier with the dagger. Less than 4 minutes to play, 2-0 Hilltoppers, and that'll pretty much seal the deal. Perfect placement into the top left corner. They were all bunched up, and she ran after it, took the shot, and buried it into the corner. 2-0 Hilltoppers here with about 3.5 to play. So we'll resume play here, but that is pretty much going to seal the deal here from Durfee. A very late second goal for the Hilltoppers. I mean, of course, anything can happen, but the likelihood of anything, of this game getting tied up here, very low percentage, very low percentage. So that was a very big goal for Durfee. They had some pressure. They had a couple opportunities. It didn't go their way over the last, say, 10 or 15 minutes after taking the 1-0 lead. Could have had another goal. The Lady Whalers had another opportunity. Remember Pavo's miss on the open netter, so could have very easily been 2-0 already. But in fact, Lady Hilltoppers get that second goal regardless. That empty netter when Almeida came out and the ball was still loose that Pavo missed on, that came maybe about 10 minutes after the first goal. So it could have been 2-0 a long time ago. That goes out. Yeah, it sure looked like it was out from even up here, and we're not even along the line. So good call by our official, much to the chagrin of the crowd. But that certainly looked like it was out. So the first goal came with a slew of Hilltoppers waiting for a bouncer off the crossbar off of a corner kick that no defenders were in front of. I mean, it was basically like wait for it to fall and just nudge it in, and 3 Hilltoppers were right there waiting. And then this last one, 2 minutes ago, thanks to Addison Bullier, And that's pretty much, that's the scoring tonight. So a good second half. Hilltoppers closed it out here. I think that 1-0 lead really added to, really added some pressure to, as the ball's loose again. Another opportunity. It'll go out on the goal line, and it should be a corner kick for the Hilltoppers here. 30 seconds to play in regulation. And it was one of those games that kind of felt like whoever scored first would probably come out on top. And what was remarkable, that's sent towards the net, wide to the right. And what's really remarkable is that after Durfee scored, it almost was like a wake-up call for the Lady Whalers, because they kind of turned it up a bit. And they had some opportunities down this other end. It really kind of tested Durfee's defense. Just basically running out the clock here, waiting to the sideline. Still in play, though. And now New Bedford will throw in, I believe. Actually, Durfee will get to throw in here. You heard the officials say kill the clock, so we are in stoppage time, but again, very little here. I'd say about probably 30 seconds, if that. Another good, strong throw in. That's going to go towards the corner. Giving chase is Hannah Alexander. Oh, my bad, actually. That was Charlotte Miserato, because Hannah's right here grabbing the ball, ready to throw in again. So she will do so right in front of her bench. Another good, strong throw in, 20 yards or so. Caitlin Gonzalez on the far side, finding Padilla. Stopped at midfield by the Hilltoppers. Pass backwards to Hannah Alexander. Now coming this way, there's Mr. Otto. Towards the box, fielded by Almeida. Down into the far corner. It's rolling towards the sidelines, but kept in. Towards the box, deflected by Alexander. She'll kick it out on the goal line, it turns out. So if the Lady Whalers hurry, they'll get the corner kick off. Very little time left. Carrero comes out, loose ball. She's going to get back up. And now the whistle sounds, and that's it. This one's over. The Lady Hilltoppers sweep New Bedford here in 2017. It is a big win for the Lady Hilltoppers. So they get above 500. They're now 2-1 in the Big Three. And it all depends on what Brockton does in their third game to determine whether or not the Durfee-Brockton game coming up soon towards the end of the season will actually have any meaning to it. So Brockton already ahead in the Big Three, but Durfee will ensure they're 2-1. They'll ensure a 2-2 finish at worst, but they're hoping, depending on what Brockton does against New Bedford, hoping that they can tie Brockton for a share of the Big Three crown. But they sweep New Bedford on the season series. They shut them out, in fact, the 1-0 win in their third game, and now here tonight, a 2-0 win at home. They're 2-1 in the Big Three. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We'll have more high school sports for you on Fred TV. Again, football next week, and we'll have some field hockey next week. That field hockey game will be on early next week as well. So we hope you have a great weekend. Tyler Texera behind the camera. Nice job tonight. Thanks for tuning in. So long from Durfee.